Everyone says study hard, crack exam, get a job, and then your life. Crack exam, get a job, and then your life. This safe path is. But what if I told you that this safe path is actually the biggest trap of all? A trap that is designed to keep you predictable, replaceable, and always chasing something. Then today, some says that we should take risk and let's go and start a startup. All of this will be exposed in today's video, guys. From a job to startup to a self job to a business. Well, welcome back, guys. I am Raghav Goyal, and if you are tired of being average, then this channel is for you. Let's get started. Guys, what is the difference between a job and a self job? A job is when an individual works for someone else, like an organization, a company, under a contract or an agreement. Self job, on the other side, is like something that a person works for themselves by having the keys in their own hands. On one side, there is job security, there is stability, and there is salary. On the other side, there is skill-based independence, flexibility, and freedom. From childhood, you were taught to aim for good marks, win certificates, crack the exam, and hope for a placement in some company. That's the script that society has written for you. And let's be honest, it feels safe. But here's the harsh reality. In India, more than 2 crore students graduate every year. Yet the unemployment rate among youth is above 20%. And moreover, chances of getting a LP of more than 15 lakhs in India is only 3%. I repeat, it's only 3%. And this, all the students right from humanities to engineering are covered. And moreover, the monthly income of a entry-level job person is about 15,000 rupees in India, and at worst, in 2018, Economic Times published an article in which they mentioned that out of the 93,000 candidates in Uttar Pradesh applying for the job of peon, out of them, 3,700 were PhD holders. Seriously, guys, PhD. Even students from top colleges with degrees are struggling to get jobs. And now, with the rising AI faster than anyone expected, the jobs that still remain are being competed by more experienced, more skilled professionals who are already way ahead of the crowd. It is said that in future, the people who know how to use AI will only be left as one for jobs. But do we know it exactly? Schools are not teaching AI. There are a very few bunch of colleges that are actually teaching it. And it is only you who has to learn how to use AI on your very own. This is where self-job comes in, guys. The most ignored yet accessible part. Because core currency here is not a degree, it's not a certificate, it's skills. The truth is that you can start self-employment at the age of 13, 14, 15 or even 16 years old. You can start earning while your classmates are still solving maths problems. All it takes is figuring out what skill you enjoy, practicing it and offering it to the world. You can be a freelancer, you can be a video editor, graphic designer, social media manager, voiceover artist, author, AI engineer. All where you can use AI. The average income of these individuals at entry level is only 25,000 rupees, more than job. And the best part is that this income is totally in your control. You can earn more just by developing yourself more. And you don't have to drop out or rebel. You can continue this while continuing your school, and you can build skills side by side. This is where freedom starts. And by 2035, reports show that the people most in demand will be the people who won't be those who do jobs, but those who know how to work with AI to multiply impact. This is your advantage. You have a plus point over the crowd. And even it can be like a warning for you that if you want to become a lawyer, great, but Start practicing debate today itself. The practical skill. Want to become a doctor? Great. But build your knowledge about a specific department today itself. Because we don't know anything about tomorrow. AI is already there. Don't wait for a paper to validate your career. Don't wait for some marks to validate you. Don't wait for someone's permission. Job was the game of yesterday. Self-job is for tomorrow. Job is like a dictator and a self-job is like a democracy. And moreover, job is like a slow lane. Self-job is a fast lane. And you have the keys when you are doing a self-job. Startup versus business. The most confused parts of today's world. How? Because simply they don't know what's the difference between a startup and a business. A startup is like a baby rocket. It's new, experimental, and built to grow fast, and it's trying to solve a unique new problem with an innovative idea, and it usually doesn't know exactly will it work or not. A business, on the other hand, is a well-oiled machine. It's focused on making steady profits from proven model itself. What's the real difference between a startup and a business? That in a startup, a person makes his money by getting the salary, and in a business, by the actual profit. Most people use these terms interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. And if you are aiming to build something of your own, you need to understand this. Like, let me break it down. A business is built to make profit from day one itself. It has a known product, a known market, and a predictable revenue model. Think of a local clothing store, digital agency, or any shop in your city itself. The goal? Stability, profit, and growth over time. The model is proven and you are just optimizing and executing to get the best results. In short, a business is an executional focused model. It runs on existing demand. On the other hand, startup is built to solve a problem in a way that have never been done. It's innovation driven and runs on uncertainty. It's testing a new product, market, and a model. Startup bleeds cash in the beginning. They are not profitable, but they are experimental and they can generate profit. But in the future, think of Uber or OpenAI. When they started, they challenged how industries work. And let's be honest. Between a job, a business, and a startup sounds cool. But do it serves you? Startups teach you a lot about speed, ownership, networking, but it's not for everyone. It's only for a bunch of people. And here in this specific thing, most people will burn. That gives you control and not that gives you freedom. Most startup founders fear fleshy are not. Because here's the catch. Their wealth non-legal, compromised. Yes, we know that Elon Musk, he's the richest person of the world today. He has a net worth of $300 billion. Sounds crazy, guys. But in 24 hours itself, it dropped to $200 billion. Still impressive. But ask yourself, how much of his net worth is actually spendable today or investable today? Now compare the same thing with a businessman running 4 restaurants, a 50 crore real estate portfolio, a 30 employee manufacturing unit, and simply that man has 100 crore in assets, all in his control. No board meetings, no dilution, no pitch deck. And here's the start that they don't show on LinkedIn. 90% of the startups in India fail in the first 5 years itself. Yet, 22% of small businesses and even the big businesses survive and thrive beyond 10 years. That's more than double and stability. Startups are just like a glorified gamble. You don't know what will happen. Businesses, they are machines you build, scale, and pass on. You just go to the internet and compare the lives of the business people and startup ones. You already know the startup people. You might not be knowing the business people. Like examples of these are Mukesh Ambani, Ratan Tata, Birla, etc. Now here, both types of people work hard. Yet they are earning. And they are doing hard work. And yes, startups can make you rich, but only if you raise capital, you scale hard, you sell it or IPO it. Because until then, you're just a highly stressed CEO on a salary. You're doing a job with more risk and and less control. Now contrast that with business. You can start with one outlet, you grow to 5, you keep 100%, and even if you start a startup, and that goes up to a valuation of 1 billion. And on the other hand, a person having $100 million business, the businessman always wins every time. Why? Because his money is real, his freedom is real, and his assets are permanent. This is why around you, in your city, you'll rarely need a startup millionaire, but you'll meet hundreds of business owners with net worths of 50 crore, 100 crore or 200 crores. Even some of the friends, their fathers are in the same category itself. Businesses are better too. And a startup is better to invest as a businessman. And most of them, no one knows their name. No media hype, no TED talk, just quiet power. Businessmen are not famous. Most of the businessmen are not famous, but still they are the real winners. A startup makes you a celebrity employee. A businessman makes you quiet king. And now, this is totally on you. Your dedication, your spirit, that what do you want to do? We are even familiar with the power of a startup. Want to become rich and just rich, then a business. Want to solve a problem and make a revolution, then a startup. At the end, even if you want fame, that can be done by doing some sort of social media stuff, becoming an influencer and telling about your story. Let's hit the most important comparison. Job versus startup. Let's be clear. A job is not evil. If used wisely, a job is useful as a tool. And it is not a prison. Use it for 6 months or a year, maybe 2, max 3. But know this, that in a job, your currency should not be money. Your real currency should be learning and time. If you were learning, growing, observing systems, building skills, great. But if you are doing a job just for survival, just for a paycheck, you're giving your life in installments. Because here's the truth. If you have any other option like self-job, business, startup, take that. Because when you rely solely on a job, you are choosing the most crowded, most competitive and least scalable path. Remember, 2 crore students graduate every year and only 10% of them land good paying jobs. Fewer than 3% of them get a LPA of more than 15 lakhs. Competition is suffocating. Growth is slow. Let's not forget, people criticize startups. Oh, but 90% of the startups fail. Yes, but let me ask, how many job seekers are failing every year? You don't need stats to see it. You live with it. You've seen friends stuck, you have seen people on the social media, graduates unemployed, engineers driving cabs and MBAs, waiting in call centers. And remember, the same article that I told you earlier from Economic Times. A failed startup teaches you more than a successful job could ever. Because in the startup process, even if you fail, you have built something. You solve problems, you gain real experience. And even after that, you still win. Why? Because now, after that, you can start a YouTube channel, give talks, become a consultant, or even apply for a job again. And the leverage is totally with you. In a job, if you work for someone else, you're just giving your life away. And in a startup, even if you work 10x harder than a job, you're working on your vision itself. Your vision. Now, don't mistake. Not everyone must build a startup. But if you choose a job over a startup, just make sure it's a stepping stone, not a coffin. You can start with job but don't end there. And even if you are aiming for some top jobs with top pays, problems are that you have a lot of competition, especially AI itself. AI is taking jobs of the people more skilled and experienced than you itself. Chances of getting the job that you wanted did from your very birth are very low. And on the other hand, here startups gets a high. Let's move to the part that we get that okay, 90% of the startups fail, but why startups are getting a high? Because still there are 10% chances that you will still make it, and even if you don't make it, you still win. I have already told you. But in a job, there is a very less chance that you will get something valuable, because most of the people, you actually go around your city, and if you will find any of the job people out there, they are struggling to even purchase the next smartphone in their life. And then we are talking about some sort of houses and cars. How will that be even possible? Just ask yourself, guys. Ask yourself. Sell job versus business. Guys, the final comparison is a tough one because honestly, both paths are powerful. Both are remarkable. Self job versus business. Self job means something like freelancing, consulting, content creation, software development, legal practice, even coaching, YouTube, or editing. And even being a doctor at your own clinic or your own hospital. You own your time, you own your craft, and you choose your clients. And in today's world, self job is booming because the barrier of entry is low. You just need skills, a laptop, and consistency. You don't need permission, you just need discipline to start and to keep in. But here's the truth that most people don't take. In a self job, you earn how much you work. If you will work more, you will get. If you stop working, then your income either starts going down or it even stops to some extent. There's no scale, no team, no system that runs without you. You have to first build a system to make the things automatic. Self-job is freedom, but business is the real power. Let's compare, guys. A freelancer can earn up to 2 to 3 lakhs a month. A solo creator can reach 10 lakhs a month. Content creator and an influencer can earn 50 lakhs or 1 crore a month or even more than that. But a businessman with 5 outlets, 100 employees, recurring sales assets systems can simply earn more than 50 lakhs to 1 crore without editing, without showing up daily. In a sales job, you are the engine. In a business, you build the engine. Let's go deeper with the data. In India, over 60 million MSMEs exist. They contribute to over 30% of India's GDP. Average successful SME, small and medium enterprises, owner earns 40 to 10x more than an average self-employed individual. Top 1% of freelancers in India can earn up to 40 lakhs a month. Top 1% of small business owners can earn up to 70 to 80 lakhs a month. And here's the most important part. Business creates more jobs. It creates systems, it creates wealth without needing your presence every day. So yes, start with a self. That's the fastest way to start earning. But don't stop there. Turn it into a business, make your own script, hire a team, build a system. Self-job will give you independence. and a business will give you legacy of generations. Let's wrap this up with one truth. Start with a skill, scale it into a system, and that's the real win. Poor skill, self-job is your entry, but business is the evolution. Guys, at the very end, I would like to give you a reality check. Let's talk about the real myth that is around us. Safety in jobs. Everyone says jobs are safe. But how, guys? How? With like 30 people. But how, guys? 30 lakh people, 30 lakh students apply for 30,000 seats in competitive exams like JEE or NEET, and only 1% make it because the seats are less than 30,000. So, what's now? Be bold, be smart, don't wait to get selected. Select your job, startup, self job, or a business. Nothing is wrong, guys. Nothing. But some are right for you and the others are not fit. And there is also one condition that you have to set. Choose something that should be chosen by your own heart, by your own self. Don't choose something because the society told you to choose that. Now, at the end, let's pull the pieces together because it's now the time when we should ask ourselves a question. Which path should I choose? Which path should you choose? If you are just something starting out like me, I'm just coding. With zero clarity, begin with a self. Develop one skill, one high income skill. Writing, designing, editing, teaching, and just start earning. Build discipline, learn responsibility because you will be having time even if you will not be. Then, if you are driven by a mission, by impact, by solving problems, consider building a startup. But remember, it's not about funding. It's about solving. It's not about headlines. It's about grit. It's about discipline that you should have inside you. And then, if you are ready to scale, you want to make a profit. You want to make a big empire. Walk into a business because business, it's not just the income. It's power. It's leverage. It's freedom. You don't run the business. You build something that runs without you. This whole path should be created by your own self, by your own needs. Because we have to shift the belief earning after the age of 20. Start earning today itself in your teenage. How? Self-job. And guys, you must take a job. You must take a job. Let it be a phase, not a final destination. Use it to learn, observe systems, save money, and don't get stuck. At the end, as this is the end of this video, I want to clarify this to you guys. That this was not a hate against jobs or startups. This is a love for freedom, for clarity, for truth. And if you feel something really today, really deep inside your heart, deep inside your mind, subscribe because the world needs more to tell us, guys.